All right, we are back here. The main event of the second half of the podcast week. Show me the money. NFL picks for week number 6. Joining me today to break it all down, my co-ticket plan holder with the New York Mets. Unfortunately, our season ended on Sunday night at Citi Field. Kevin Lillis is here. Kevin, how are you?
Mike, I am great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Kevin and I literally spent at least 20 nights at Citi Field over the summer, and we saw a miserable playoff. We saw both playoff losses. I believe that now Kevin has 3 playoff losses in a row we've been to.
That's 3 playoff losses in a row, but it's not our fault.
It is not our fault.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to someone we are not the jinx. I'm telling you right now, I do not believe in any of that stuff.
I mean, we went like 16-6 during the regular season between the two of us.
Yeah. And between Chris Bassett and Carrasco.
Yeah.
God knows we saw those guys enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Chris Bassett's coming back next year, but we'll get to the football. And we're both Jet fans here, and I gotta say, Sunday, I did feel great. The Jets won. I was excited about that. There was a little bit pit in my stomach. Okay, if the Jets won, the Mets won't win tonight. But what did you think about the Jet game on Sunday?
I gotta say, it was fun to watch. I mean, I saw the game in bits and pieces because we kind of had another thing going on that day with the Mets. But I thought that the Jets did exactly what they were supposed to go out and do. They saw that Tua being out, they had the ability to take advantage of the injury luck, and they took advantage of it from start to finish. And Zach had a great game, and it's great to see him, taking snaps. Breece Hall had some Curtis Martin-esque type moves, and our secondary was actually very, very good. So I enjoyed watching them.
Yeah, it's very fun to beat the Dolphins because Jet fans at a certain age know that everybody, I think under the age of 25, hates the Patriots as the number one rival. But if you're a certain age, the Dolphins are the team that you can't stand the most as a Jet fan, and watching the Jets kick their asses was a lot of fun.
Big time. And I think a large portion of it is that Dolphins fans travel really well, and there are a lot of Dolphins fans in New York, from the Marino era, I feel. So, I know a lot of Dolphins fans that we even went to school with or lived around with, and I'm still friends with. But, it's great seeing the Dolphins, seeing the Jets beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. This team, I feel like it's been a lot of fun here because between all the rookies, the ascension from Zach Wilson the second year, Elijah Vera Tucker playing all over the line here. You look at this team, I mean, I heard preseason, I think Adam Shine said on JJ's podcast that Jets can be 0-7 with their schedule. Here they are, they're 3-2. Next 2 games look kind of winnable, and the second half of the schedule is manageable. I think this team can be a playoff contender.
You know what, Mike? I got to agree. I got to say, people will argue or debate the quality of the wins. But the one thing that I know is that last year's team would have lost all 3 games so far, and the way I see that, that's an improvement. Am I going to place my bets that this might be a playoff caliber team? I've been disappointed way too many times before, but next week when the Jets take on the Packers, who the Giants beat last week, and they do look like a beatable team. And say the Bills lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, all of a sudden the Jets are at the top of the AFC East, and that's something that I haven't said or anybody has said in quite a long time.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the Jet thing is exciting because, obviously, we're getting to the point where we're getting close to Halloween. It's time to look at the mock draft and see what we're doing here for the draft next year. But now, I mean, they got this big game on Sunday against the Packers, and I think obviously you mentioned they lost the Giants last week. The one thing that worries me is the Packers are probably going to realize, hey, we should run the football. The Jets have not been very good at stopping the run so far.
Yeah, that's true. We see, this is where I've been burned so many times by the Jets, so I'm not trying to be too overly optimistic. Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Aaron Rodgers does. That's just what he's going to do. But the best thing that we could do is maybe just load the box, stop the run, and let our secondary make plays. And see what kind of schemes the coaches come up with this week. They came up with some pretty good schemes against the Dolphins. If they do their homework and they study what Rodgers is able to do and what the Packers are able to do, and the way that they've been playing, they're not arguing with their coaches on the sideline. It's an earshot from that game. So I'm excited to see what they do this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pumped up too. I think it's gonna be a very fun game. The next couple of weeks with them, with Denver, with the Patriots coming in. I'm excited to see what's going on here with the Jets.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Gangrene does.
Absolutely. Let's go to the picks challenge. The reason why you're here. Sports Grizz Kevin Wall stopped by last week to do the NFL picks, and he did not have a good week last week. He went 0-3.
Oh my God!
When did Mike Francesa join your podcast?
he's been a contributor for about about 6 months or so. Yeah, so
I love it.
Yeah. Kevin last week, he had the Dolphins laying the 3. I give him a mulligan on that one because the Bridgewater getting hurt the first play of the game, getting knocked out, probably influenced that pick a lot. He had the Commanders plus 2.5. They could have won. They probably should have won that game. They ended up losing it late, so tough break for him there. He had the Rams laying the 4.5 and almost the Cowboys. That one did not go well.
Those are some tough picks.
Yeah, it worked out tough. I had a better week. I went 2-1 on the week. I had the Vikings laying 6.5. I locked the number in early, got a break. They won by 7, covered the number. I had the Pats laying the 3 against the Lions. They shut them out 29-0, so good job by me there. And then the one I lost, I had the Ravens laying the 3 on Sunday Night Football, and I looked like I was good for about for 3.5 quarters, and they choked the lead in the fourth quarter and ended up winning by 2.
That's a heartbreaker.
It was a heartbreaker. On the year, the slow starts of both sides. The Challengers are 7-8, I'm 7-8, so not exactly inspiring football off the first 5 weeks.
Well, I mean, there's still a lot of football left to play, and there's plenty more games to pick.
There are plenty more games to pick here. Let's get to some picks here. So, as the guest, you go first. Where are you going to pick number 1?
Well, so I went with a pick for each time slot. So the 1 o'clock games, I'm going to go with the Ravens -6 over the Giants. The Giants have played really well. I'm not going to knock them. Listen, they're having a great season so far. Brian Daboll is a pretty good coach. So Lamar Jackson is having an MVP caliber season, and he's been very effective at throwing the ball downfield.
Yes, that's an interesting pick for you there. Like, I feel like for me, I worry about the game because I think the Ravens will win, but their penchant for blowing these big leads is something that scares you, that number.
Yeah, well, do you want to have a little side bet, maybe a little prop bet on the side?
Yeah, we can discuss that in a few minutes. We're going to pick number 2.
Pick number 2 at 4 o'clock. I'm going with the Chiefs plus 2.5 over the Bills. I know the Bills are a pretty good team, but at the very least, the Chiefs should keep this game close. Patrick Mahomes has been impeccable. He's got 7-0 against the spread in these types of underdog contests, and I think the Chiefs are gonna take it plus 2.5.
I like that one a lot. I mean, Mahomes a home underdog is like almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going for the last game here. You said you have 1 each time slot.
Yeah, well, I'm going with the Sunday night game. I'm doing the Eagles over the Cowboys -6.5. To me, that's just Philly is just top notch. Jalen Hurts, who once was thought to be like a huge weakness for this team, he looks fantastic. And honestly, both sides of the ball are functioning really, really well. So I'm taking the Eagles over the Cowboys -6.5.
Yeah, it's a fun game to be in on for sure. I do think it's going to be interesting to see how that Dallas defense matches up here with the Philly offense is great, but I think the Cooper Rush match go around this week.
All right, yes, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so your picks are in. I'm up now. Pick number 1. I'm going to go heads up with you on that Raving. I'm going to take the points with the Giants getting the 6, so we should just make an official bet here. I do think with this game, I do think that the Giants not getting enough respect for being 4-1. They play tough. They play to your opponent's strengths. They manage the players they have very well. Brian Daboll gets more out of less than almost any other coach in the league right now. And Baltimore has the propensity to just blow these leads late in games. And I just don't feel confident them going on the road laying 6. I think they're going to win the game. I think it's going to be closer than that. So I'll take the points. So I'll go heads up with you on that one.
All
right, so we'll put that one in the books here. Pick number 2. Family play on the Chiefs. Love it, 2.5. Getting points at home with Mahomes is fantastic here. I think the Bills have looked a bit shaky at times this year. The Dolphin game, the Raven game, they had their issues. I think going on the road, I think there's a little bit of demons there with the Chiefs, and going into Arrowhead, I don't think helps. I think I like this one. I'm with you on that family play. All right. Let's pick number 2. Pick number 3. I got to go with another underdog here. Make it 3 underdogs and take the Falcons getting 5.5 at home against the 49ers this week. 49ers are very banged up. They had a bunch of injuries last week in Carolina. Still won the game going away here. I know they play well when they stay out east. They stay in West Virginia this week, but Atlanta is scrappy. Atlanta plays close games, and they have every single one of their games has been a one-possession game this season, all 5. It could easily be 5-0 if things break the ball in a certain direction here. I think this game, they're going to be right in this one until the end. I think San Francisco wins by a field goal. I think 5.5 is too many with this team. I think the Falcons are spirited, they're feisty, they play very hard, and they give you everything they have. I'll take the points at home.
All right, that's, listen, they're all solid picks, but yeah, me and you got to oppose each other on the Ravens Giants. Maybe we'll, a bet on a hot dog next year. How about that?
Yeah, we'll put that bet in there. So anyway, the picks for the week. The Ravens for Kevin laying 6 in MetLife Stadium against the Giants. The Chiefs getting 2.5 at home against the Bills in the game of the week. The Eagles laying 6.5 on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. My picks, we're going heads up on the Ravens. I'm going to take the Giants getting the 6 points this week. I'm going to go at family play with Kevin, do the Chiefs plus 2.5 in that game. And the Falcons getting 5.5 points at home against the 49ers. $300 for me. Those are your picks for week number 6. Coming up next week on the podcast, I'm going to be joined by our good friend Justin Diaz talking about his Giants next week and see if they can pull off the upset again, go to 5-1. That's going to be a very fun spot because, Justin, I never talked to him when the Giants are actually doing good. They usually get to when they're bad.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch the Giants this year, to be honest. It's great to see that Giants fans are actually not miserable right now. There's only so much misery that can be had in one room. Usually that's just kept by Jets fans.
Yeah, I mean, New York football has been straight garbage for about 5 years, maybe longer in the Jets case. I mean, close to a decade, honestly. But so it's good to have both of these teams actually not be staring at mock drafts by Halloween. And
you know what? It's good to see that New York sports are actually turning a page and that teams are actually being competitive. For once, between the Mets this year, even though it was kind of disappointing, the Yankees, in it. The Rangers are back. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning on their opener. The Jets and Giants are they're playing really, really well. And, we'll see what happens with the Knicks and the Nets this year. I feel like it's a mixed bag with them sometimes.
It's always a mixed bag with the Knicks. All right, Kevin, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, if you want to follow on social media, how can they do that?
You can hit me up on CastroPhoto.com. I do a lot of amateur astrology or amateur astrophotography. I haven't done a lot of it lately, but a lot of it is up there if anyone wants to check it out. That's my Instagram. Yeah,
you got more free time now to do the astrology now that the Mets got knocked out.
Yeah, but there's so much light pollution down here, and I'm living in Queens, Mike.
Yeah, that's true. You got to get into the country more to do that.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I got to get away from all the lights.
Yeah, get away from all the lights, Kevin. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks. Great hearing from you, and let's go Mets.